Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk and the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was good upon anything he chose to put his hand to. Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and his sole mourner. And even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up by the sad event, but that he was an excellent man of business on the very day of the funeral, and solemnized it with an undoubted bargain. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people knew to the business called Scrooge, and sometimes Marley, but he answered to both names. It was all the same to him. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, old Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching old sinner. The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nose, shriveled his cheek, stiffened his gait, made his eyes red, his thin lips blue, and spoke out shrewdly in his grating voice. He carried his own low temperature always about with him. He iced his office in the dog days, and didn't thaw it out 1 degree at Christmas. Nobody ever stopped him in the street to say, with gladsome looks, "My dear Scrooge, how are you?" No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him what it was o'clock. No man or woman ever once in all his life inquired the way to such and such a place of Scrooge. But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked, to edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep its distance. Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather, and he could hear the people outside to wheezing up and down, stamping their feet upon the pavement stones to warm them. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, who in a dismal little cell beyond was copying letters. Scrooge had a very small fire, but the clerk's fire was so very much smaller than it looked like new coal, but he couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge kept the coal box in his own room, and so surely as the clerk came in with the shovel, the master predicted that it would be necessary for them to part. Wherefore the clerk put on a white comforter and tried to warm himself at the candle, in which effort, not being a man of strong imagination, he failed.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle. You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then. What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be, when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer? A time for balancing your books and having every item in 'em coming up a round dozen of months presented dead against you? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stick of holly through his heart. He should.
Uncle!
Nephew! Keep Christmas in your own way. Let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then. Much good may it do you. Much good has it ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited, I dare say. Christmas among the rest. But I am sure I have always thought of Christmas time as the only time in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open up their shut-up hearts freely, and to think of people below them as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave, and not just another race of creatures bound on other journeys. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, and it will do me good, I say. God bless it.
Let me hear another sound from you, Cratchit, and you'll keep our Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see you in Humbug.
But why? Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
But, Uncle, you never came to see me before that happened. Why does it give you a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. We never had any quarrel to which I have been a party, but I have made a trial in homage to Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas to it to the last. Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley's been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago. This very night.
We have no doubt this liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of common necessaries. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses? Are they still in operation?
They are. Still, I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and the poor laws, are they in full vigor then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind or body to the multitude, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. We choose this time because it is a time of all others when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, gentlemen, that is my answer. I don't make myself merry at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I hope to support the establishments I have mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Well, many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, excuse me, I don't know that.
But you might know it.
It's not my business. It's not enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Christmas and all its frills. Bah, humbug.
Please, sir, it's 9 o'clock.
Already? You want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
Oh, if quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used. I'd be bound, and yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Pert excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the early the next morning.
Oh, I will, sir.
There's another fellow, my clerk. 15 shillings a week, a wife and a family, talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam. Merry Christmas. Bah. Humbug.
We'll be back with Act 2 right after this. It's 1985 and you still haven't tried a Pizza House pizza yet. What are you waiting for? There's no better time than the present. Now you can get a 16-inch pizza pop delivery and sales tax for just $7.39. You can be assured of a mouth-watering fresh pizza. So clip the coupons from the Northern Ireland that include a 16-inch pizza pop delivery and sales tax for only $7.39. Call 268-0448. The Pizza House on College Hill in Cedar Falls.
You can get you and I clothes for less at Hill Street News and Tobacco, located on the hill in Cedar Falls. You can find top quality shirts, jerseys, sweaters, and caps for less. Also just in, new Gateway Conference Championship sweatshirts. Also special prices on Christmas cards, wrapping, paper, pipes, and tobacco. Be sure to check prices on you and I sportswear first at Hill Street News and Tobacco on the hill in Cedar Falls.
Sir. Yes? We'll give you $30,000 and a date with a beautiful French film star if in the next 20 seconds you can give us one good reason not to buy a toy for Toys for Tots.
Toys for the
Marine Corps Reserve Project, yes.
Not to buy.
Not, yes.
Okay.
15 seconds.
Well, okay, the toys go to children who wouldn't get toys. And
10
that's not
seconds.
Okay, it's not always, just because a kid doesn't get a toy.
5 seconds.
Oh, I got it. I think I got it. Not to buy is...
This man will never come up with a reason not to buy a toy for Toys for Tots, and neither will you. So call your local Marine Corps Reserve Center today.
Back to the Christmas Carol, later at Scrooge's house.
Who's there?
It's me, Scrooge, of course. Open the door, woman. Open the door.
What do you mean?
What do you mean knocking me out of my house? What ails you, woman?
I don't rightly know, sir. It's that frightened I am, sir. It's a queer night, sir.
Queer?
And sort of scary. Several times I've heard noises, knockings and rappings, and footsteps. And when I went to look, there was nobody there.
Nonsense, woman. What noises could there be? Humbug.
There were voices too, sir.
Voices? What voices? Speak up, woman.
That's the strangest part of all, sir. It sounded just like Molly's voice.
Bah, humbug. Molly's been dead these 7 years.
I know, sir. That's why it was so very queer hearing him speak, like a ghost.
Humbug, woman. There are no ghosts. Go along with you. I'll not be needing you any more tonight. Ghosts. There are no ghosts. Bah. How now? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who are you then? You're particular for a shade.
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
I can.
Do it then.
You don't believe in me.
I don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your own senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. Mercy! Dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me?
Man of the worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do, I must. But why do spirits walk the earth? And why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad amongst his fellow men, and travel far and wide. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world.
You are fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I make it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it on my own free will, and of my own free will I walked. Is this pattern strange to you? Or would you know the weight and length of the strong color you bear yourself? It was full as heavy and long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob! Oh, Jacob Marley. Tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give, nor can I tell you what I would. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger anywhere.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. Hear me, my time is nearly gone.
I will. But don't be hard on me. Don't be flowery, Jacob. Pray.
I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. A chance and hope of my procuring Ebenezer.
You were always a good friend to me. Thank you.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you mentioned, Jacob?
Yes, it is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take 'em all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more. And for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
The hour itself and nothing else. Are you the spirit, sir? His coming was foretold to me.
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past, your welfare, your reclamation brings me here. Turn and behold, it is you, Ebenezer, in the year long past. Know you this place?
Know it? Was not I apprenticed here? Why, it's old Fezziwig! Old Fezziwig, to whom I was apprenticed, bless his heart. It's Fezziwig, alive again.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer, Dick.
And it's my fellow apprentice, Dick. Dick Wilkins, to be sure. Bless me, yes, there he is. He was very much attached to me, was Dick. Poor Dick, dear, dear.
No more work tonight, my boys. It's Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up before a man can say Jack Robinson.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Why, is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that. It isn't that, Spirit. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
No, I should like to say a word or two to my clerk just now, that's all.
My time grows short. Quick!
Now Scrooge is taken to the home of his former sweetheart in a year long past.
It matters little. To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one, the master passion. Gain alone engrosses you.
I've not changed towards you, have I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor. You are changed, and I am not. That which promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought of this, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it, and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit. If you were free today, tomorrow, yesterday, can even I believe that you would choose a dowerless girl? If you did, do I not know that your repentance and regret would surely follow? I do, and I release you, with a full heart, for the love of him you once were.
Spirit, show me no more. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more! No more! I do not wish to see it. Show me no more.
One shadow more. Behold her whom you gave up for gold. Behold her, the happy wife of a good husband. See her with the children who might have been your children. I do not love gold more.
What a day this has been. The children are so excited. How has the day gone with you?
Well, I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon.
Who was it?
Guess.
How can I? Oh, I don't know. Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge it was. I passed his office window, and as it was not shut up, and he had a candle inside, I could scarcely help seeing him. His partner lies upon the point of death, I hear, and there he sat alone. Quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Spirit, show me no more.
I told you these were shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me. The past cannot be changed, cannot be lived again. The past is what you yourself have made it. You cannot change it, but you can and will remember it.
Look up, man. Look up and know me better.
Who are you?
I am the spirit of Christmas present. You have ignored me these many years. I have come to show you the present.
The past I have seen, and now the present? I wish that...
Scrooge is now taken to the home of his longtime employee, Bob Cratchit.
What has ever got your precious father, then? And your brother, Tiny Tim? And Martha wasn't as late last Christmas Day by half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
She's here, Mother.
Martha's come at last, and oh, Martha, there's such a goose.
Why, bless your heart alive, my dear, how late you are.
We had a deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning, Mother.
Well, never mind, so long as you are here. Sit you down, my dear, and rest you. Lord bless ye.
Hide, Martha, hide. Father's coming, Martha.
Hide in the kitchen.
Why, where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming upon Christmas Day?
Here I am, Father.
It's good to see you, my dear. Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without our Martha.
Oh, Mother, the goose does smell so good.
And how did Tiny Tim behave?
Oh, as good as gold and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful, sitting by himself so much, and he thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me coming home that he hoped the people saw him in church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who it was that made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Time to eat, everyone.
I'll do that, Mother.
A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
Hear,
Hear, hear.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, how frail Tiny Tim looks. Tell me if you will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, no, Spirit. No, kind Spirit. Say you will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here. What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population.
My own words when I asked to give a trifle to the poor.
Man, if man you be in heart, not stubborn, forbear this wicked cant until you have discovered what the surplus is, and where it is. Will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child. O God, to hear the insect on the leaf pronouncing on the too much life among his hungry brothers in the dust.
Later at the home of Scrooge's nephew, Fred.
I'm sure even your tight-fisted old uncle, that Mr. Scrooge you're always speaking of, would be warmed by that carol.
He said Christmas was a humbug. He believed it, too.
I have no patience with that man.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself always. Here he takes it into his heart to dislike us, and he won't dine with us. What's the consequence? He doesn't lose much of a dinner.
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
I'm sure he loses pleasanter companions than he can find in his own thoughts, either in his moldy old office or in his dusty chambers. I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not, for I pity him. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it if he finds me going there year after year and saying, "Uncle Scrooge, how are you?" At any rate, I'm wishing Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whatever he is. He wouldn't take it from me, but he may have it nevertheless. To Uncle Scrooge.
And I refused his invitation. I refused it. Oh, Fred, Fred. Merry Christmas and God bless you.
You can do nothing to change the past, nothing to alter the present. But there is still the future. Perhaps in it lies your hope and your salvation.
In the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come? You are about to show me shadows of things that have not happened, but which will happen in the time before us? Ghost of the future, I feel you more than any specter I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to be another man from what I once was, I'm prepared to bear your company, and to do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me?
He's dead, you say? When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What was the matter with him? I thought he never died.
God knows.
Well, what has he done with all his bloody money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life I don't know of anyone to go to it. Suppose we make up a party of volunteers.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided, but I must be fed if I'm to go.
I'm the most disinterested among you, after all, for I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch. But I'll offer to go if everybody else will. When I come to think of it, I'm not so sure at all that I wasn't his most particular friend, for we used to stop and speak whenever we met. Oh, well, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Scrooge is now taken to the establishment of a local pawnbroker where he finds his laundress and housekeeper.
So old Scrooge got his own at last, eh? Well, well, I would have thought he was too mean to die. But being dead, he won't be missing whatever you brought in your bundles. You there, you cared for him, didn't you? What you fetched in your bundle?
Take a look at it then, and let me know the value of it. Speak out plain. I'm not afraid to be the first, nor afraid for her to see it. We both know pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we met here, I believe. It's no sin. How much is it worth?
I always give too much to ladies. It's a weakness of mine. And that's the way I ruin myself. But there's your account. If you asked me for another penny, I'd repent being so liberal and knock off half a crown. And now, what's in your bundle? What do you call this? Bed curtains?
Bed curtains it is.
You don't mean to say you took 'em down, rings and all with him lying there?
Yes, I do, and why not?
Well, you were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
I certainly shan't hold my hand when I can't get anything in it by reaching it out for the sake of such a man as he was. That I promise you. Don't be dirtying them blankets now.
His blankets?
Whose else's do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without 'em, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
Don't be afraid of that. I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter about him for such things if he did. You may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it, nor a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one, too. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you call wasting of it?
Putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it isn't good enough for anything. It's quite becoming to the body. He can't look uglier than he did in that one.
Am I that man they talked about Christmas?
You are.
No, Spirit. Oh, no, no, Spirit. Hear me. I'm not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been but for this intercourse. I will honor Christmas till my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons they teach. I will not shut them out.
We'll be back with the conclusion of the Christmas Carol right after these messages.
Norman T. Balloon.
What? Who is it?
I'm the ghost of Christmas past.
Oh, my.
I'm haunting all who did not donate a new toy to the Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots program.
See, I didn't have time.
Follow me, Norman.
Out the window?
Just touch my tassel and...
Say, this looks like Cleveland.
25 years ago.
Wow.
Look into that window.
That's me when I was 6 years old under the Christmas tree, and...
What, Norman?
I'm playing with a paper bag my mom and dad gave me for Christmas.
Paper bag?
That's all they could afford. The year before, I didn't get anything.
Why are you crying, Norman?
I wanted a fire engine.
If not for Toys for Tots, lots of little girls and boys would awaken to find nothing Christmas morning.
Okay, I'll buy a toy.
A new unwrapped toy?
I promise. Now take me back to my bedroom.
Touch my tassel, Norm.
Whoa!
Here we are.
Wait a minute.
Bye-bye, Norm.
This isn't my bedroom. Hold it.
Harry, there's a man in a bathrobe standing in our bed.
Go to sleep, Noreen.
This Christmas, take a new unwrapped toy to your nearby Marine Corps Reserve unit and give a needy child a smile.
You can get you and I clothes for less at Hill Street News and Tobacco, located on the Hill. You can find top quality shirts, jerseys, sweaters, and caps for less. Also just in, new Gateway Conference Championship sweatshirts. Also special prices on Christmas cards, wrappings, paper, pipes, and tobacco. Be sure to check prices on UNI Sportswear first at Hill Street News and Tobacco on the Hill in Cedar Falls.
Welcome back to the Christmas Carol. The next morning, Ebenezer Scrooge awoke to be a changed man, a man with an extremely warm heart.
I will live in the past, the present, and the future. Spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob, Molly, heaven! At Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, Jacob, on my knees. There's the saucepan my gruel is in. There's a corner where the ghost of Christmas present stood. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened. I don't know long how I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind, I couldn't care. I'd rather be a baby. What's today?
Eh?
What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. I missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
Do you know the poultry shop in the next street but one at the corner?
I should hope I did.
Oh, intelligent boy, remarkable boy. Do you know whether they sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the prize turkey, not the small one, but the big one.
What? The one as big as mine?
Delightful boy, it's a pleasure to talk with him. Yes, me buck.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it, go and buy it. Bring it here and I'll give you directions where to take it. I'll pay you a shilling. Come back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. I sent it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. No, I won't. I'll eat it here. We'll all eat it here. I'll give it dinner. Miss Turk, hello there. Miss Turk, I say. Will you be so kind as to step up here for a minute? Oh, there you are, Miss Turk. Now, tell me, is there someone who can run an errand for me? There is. How delightful. How perfectly delightful. Have a boy run to my nephew's house, Fred. That's in Bartlesby Square. And another boy run to my clerk, Bob Cratchit's in Brentwood Lane. And invite them all here for a Christmas dinner. Here's a bob for each of them. And a crown for you, Miss Turk. And thank you. Merry Christmas and... Oh, Miss Turk, if you be so good as to fix a dinner, can you fix a turkey? No, not just a little turkey, but a prize turkey. You can? Oh, splendid, splendid. I don't know what to do. I'm as happy as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to all the world. Hello there. Woo, hello. You there. Aren't you the gentleman who so kindly called upon me at my office yesterday? You are? Splendid, splendid. Will you be so kind as to step up here for a moment? You will? Thank you, thank you. My dear sir, it was so kind of you to come. How are you? How are you? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you indeed.
Mr. Scrooge.
Yes, that is my name. I fear it may not be a pleasant one to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and I will have the goodness...
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such magnificence.
Don't say anything, please. And if you'll come again and see me, won't you? You will come and see me.
I will.
Thank you. Much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you and a very Merry Christmas.
While Scrooge is still at the door, the turkey boy arrives.
And so here we are with the turkey. And if you'd be so kind as to hand it in to the housekeeper on the floor below. You're a fine lad, a likely lad, and a Merry Christmas to you. Well, Fred, I see you got my message. Well, since you're here, you might as well sit down. You, sir, what do you mean by taking so long?
I'm very sorry, sir. I came as fast as I could.
You did? Well, let me tell you something, my fine friend. I'm going to stand for this none longer. And so, I'm going to raise your salary. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I've ever given you. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family, and we'll discuss your affairs this very day, Bob. Merry Christmas.
This has been The Christmas Carol, starring Claire Fleener as Scrooge. Fred was Todd Williams, Bob Cratchit, Brenton Williams, first collector Mike Capetious, second collector Amy Hammis, housekeeper Ann Stauffer, Marley Mike Capetious, Fezziwig Jeff Zart, Ghost of Christmas Past Glenn Fries, Sweetheart Susan Abbas, Young Scrooge Claire Fleener, Husband Dan Weber, Ghost of Christmas Present Mark Knodel, Mrs. Cratchit Ann Stauffer, Martha Barb Philibert, Cratchit Dan Weber, Cratchit Girl Amy Hammis, Tiny Tim, Todd Williams, Topper, Jeff Zart, Fred's wife, Barb Philibert, Ghost of Christmas Future, Mark Knodel, First Gossiper, Dan Rouse, Second Gossiper, Penny Gurick, Third Gossiper, Susan Abbas, Pawnbroker, Dan Weber, Laundress, Amy Hammis, Turkey Boy, Jeff Zart. The director and producer was Dan Rouse, Assistant Director, Penny Gurick, Sound Effects and Engineer, Peter Hamlin, and Engineer, Pat Sajak. Special thanks to Randy Hogenkamp, Bob Burns, Al Shares, Paul Johnson, George Day, and KUNI. Merry Christmas from all of us at KCRS. This has been your announcer speaking, Gary Walter.
Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Happy New Year!